Good morning. Thank you for joining me for Yoga Express from this beautiful location in Montego Bay, Jamaica. For today's practice, you'll need a mat or a beach towel and your body. We're going to go ahead and get started and create some heat. Let's take a deep breath in. As we inhale, hands reach up to the sky. Exhale fully and completely. Let's do that a few more times. With each inhale, we're completely filling our bellies with air. Allow the belly to fully expand with each inhale. Our exhale should last a little bit longer than our inhalation. On our next inhale, interlace our fingertips together at the top, pressing our palms straight up overhead. And let's reach to the left, pressing our weight into the outer edge of our right foot. Breathing through each stretch. Inhale back to center and exhale to the other side. Inhale, center. Exhale, palms come out in front. So we're rounding through our upper back. Really try to push the shoulder blades apart, stretching through our upper back. Inhale your way back to center. Exhale into a baby back bend. Let's create a big long side stretch by inhaling tall to center, exhaling over to one side. Our fingertips are reaching and stretching in opposite directions. Inhale back up to center and exhale other side. Begin to flow now with each breath. Inhaling center, exhaling side bend. Inhaling center, exhaling side bend. In our practice today, we're going to cover a little bit of strength, flexibility, and balance. Remember, we listen to our body, honoring any limits our body set for us, doing only what feels good to us today. Last side bend. And we're going to inhale, stretch tall to center. Exhale, release, hands to heart center. Let's create a little bit of heat. Take a little wider stance, more like a mountain stance. So our hips are stacked right above our heels. We're going to inhale tall, and we're going to exhale, swan dive forward, reaching into a forward fold. If our hamstrings are a little tight this morning, maybe your forward fold looks more like this with your hands resting on your thighs or even your shins. On our next inhale, we inhale up into monkey. We create a long spine and a flat back. Exhale back into our forward fold. And inhale, reverse swan dive, reaching all the way up into a little baby back bend. And then have a seat, Utkatasana, or chair pose. So that's our entire flow. Let's do that again together. Inhale, lifting up. And exhale, swan dive forward. Forward fold, pausing for a breath. Inhale, moving up into monkey. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale, reverse swan dive, reaching up into a slight back bend. And have a seat, Utkatasana, or chair sit, a little bit deeper. That's going to be our challenge. Let's flow through that 3 more times. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, swan dive forward. I'll talk you through it one more time. Inhale, look up into monkey. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive, reaching up, slight back bend. Have a seat, chair pose. 2 more times at your own pace. So feel free to move as slow as you need to. If it feels better to your body today to take an extra breath in each posture, that is perfectly okay. Remember, the key with yoga is linking the breath to our movements. As we find chair sit, let's pause here, holding, taking our tailbone a little bit deeper, feeling the strength our legs create, appreciating our legs for holding us in this pose. Take a deep breath in, exhale, twisting left elbow to the outside of the knee. Palms are resting gently, and we're looking over the shoulder. Inhale, come back to center, and exhale, other side. Inhale back to center. This time, exhale, palms release down to your mat. Go ahead and straighten your legs as far as you comfortably can. Maybe we're feeling a little bit looser. Our hamstrings are giving us a little bit more availability. We can stay here in a supported fold, or if it feels okay, hands reaching for our elbows, coming into ragdoll, and then just gently swaying from side to side. On our inhale, reverse swan dive, reaching all the way up into a slight back bend, and release our hands to heart center, moving into our first balancing pose of the day. So for those of us that maybe didn't sleep well or are under extra stress, you could have your balance negatively affected. You can move closer to a wall or a chair or have some sort of stability. We're going to pick up the right toes, and as you go to set them back down, spread them as wide as you can, really creating a firm base. Draw the left knee up, and let's look for a focal point for your gaze. So we are pausing here. Think of this as a buffet. Stop where you want. You can hold this knee, or you can open it out to the side. One more layer would be to extend the right fingertips out. More challenging yet, turn your gaze to look for your right fingertips. Come back to the center, and let's open up into star pose. So I'm going to angle my toes out, reaching. Make yourself long. And let's inhale back to center. Exhale, set the foot down and just walk it out. Shift the hips from side to side. Picking up the toes now on the left foot. Go ahead and spread them wide. And when you're ready, gaze finds your focal point, knee comes up. Remember, if you find a focal point 2 or 3 feet out in front of your mat, it really does help with your balance and stability. Opening the knee wide. If you added the arm, go ahead and extend opposite arm out. If you want, turning the gaze. If that's too much on this side, remember you do have a dominant side for balance, just like we do flexibility and strength. Let's pull the knee back to the center and then get ready to release, opening up into star, reaching into our diagonal, making our bodies long. Inhale, come back to center, and exhale, release, shifting it out one leg at a time. Let's move back to the right leg. Again, finding our stable stance, right toes spread wide, and we're going to move into tree pose. So if our balance is a little shaky, you might benefit from leaving a kickstand down. You can bring your leg up a little higher, whatever feels comfortable to you. We're going to start with our hands at heart center. And remember, your knee has a micro bend. That means we have a soft, little, tiny bend in the knee, which is going to help with our balance and stability. Let's begin to pull the knee towards the back of our mats, opening our hips. You're welcome to stay here, hands at heart center, or maybe you grow the branches of your tree. And if you do choose to extend the palms up, just keep the shoulders relaxed, down and away from your ears. One more deep breath in, and we inhale, hands back to heart center, slowly release, and walk it out. Good job. Moving to the opposite side, opening up, spreading the toes wide, bringing the leg up. Starting with your hands at heart center, we press the heel into the leg, leg into the heel. Let's open the hips, roll the knee back. Staying here, hands at heart center, or perhaps growing the branches of your tree. Relaxing our shoulders. And inhale, slowly bringing our hands back to heart center. With control, release the leg and walk it out. Inhaling, arms overhead. And exhale, swan dive forward. Let's step or jump back into downward facing dog. Down dog, we're making an inverted V. Let's bicycle out our heels, bending one knee at a time. Gently pressing your heel down to your mat. Let's go ahead and lift our left heel up to the sky, three-legged dog, and then bend the knee, drop the heel behind you to continue the twist. Look under your shoulder, really opening up through the hip. One more deep breath in, releasing our leg back down. Let's inhale, opposite heel up, three-legged dog. Bend our knee, drop the heel behind us. Continue the twist by looking under the shoulder. On our next breath, both legs come down, gently making our way onto all fours. We're in tabletop position. So in this position, we want to make sure that our hips are stacked right on top of our knees and our shoulders are stacked right on top of our wrist. For some of us, it might feel better to make a fist for a wrist and come here, a little more stability. We're going to warm up with Shakavakasana or cat-cow. So we're going to inhale, drop our bellies down to the mat, bring the gaze up. If you're inside, that's usually where the point where the ceiling meets the wall. And then we exhale, tuck and round, and push the spine all the way back up. Let's begin to make our way back and forth from flexion to extension. As your back begins to warm up, start to really exaggerate the motion. Make it as big as you can. Go ahead and finish one more in each direction. And then we're going to make our way back into our neutral tabletop where we're going to pull the tummies in nice and tight. Draw the navel towards your spine. And let's move into spinal balance, extending one leg back. I'm flexing my foot, big toe points straight down to the mat, and then slowly and gently release, taking the opposite leg back. It's almost like you have a headlight on each hip. They're shining straight down. So we're maintaining neutral. Now, if this is too easy, feel free to add an opposite arm, extending, reaching, lowering down with control. So we're extending, lengthening, and reaching down with control. Very good. Let's just do one more to each side. And after your last one, we can sink our hips back to our heels, coming into child's pose, fingertips resting in front of us, head resting down. Staying in child's pose for just a couple more breaths. Let's walk our hands over to the left side of your mat, pressing the right hip out, creating a C shape in the body. Coming back to the center, let's walk our hands over to the right, pressing our left hip out. Coming back to the center, and then making your way into a seated position. Legs can be crossed, legs can be outstretched, whatever way is comfortable for you. We're going to inhale our arms up and overhead and begin to side flow. Exhale, moving from side to side. So again, if it's not comfortable sitting cross-legged, go ahead and come into a comfortable seat, whatever that looks like for you. The next time our right arm comes down, let's pause here, holding the side bend, reaching up a little higher, pulling this left shoulder back. Gaze comes up to the sky or the ceiling. Inhale, hands come back to center. Exhale, split the arms. Let's move into a spinal twist. Right palm is on our thigh. My left palm is behind my hip. I'm going to work on inhaling length into the spine and then exhaling twist. So with each inhale, we sit up a little bit taller. And with each exhale, we take our twist a little bit deeper. Let's do that a couple more times on this side, please. And go ahead and begin to release, exhale. Keep the right palm anchored where it is, inhaling up and over. And then releasing your way into a forward fold. Depending on your availability, it may look a little bit more like a forward hinge, and that's okay. Again, remember, we're listening to our bodies. Begin to open that up. Hands come behind and extend through heart center, lifting the chest. Shoulder blades come down and back. Gaze is up. Release. If you're sitting cross-legged like me, take the opposite leg in front, inhaling up, exhaling from side to side again. The next time our left arm is down, let's pause here, holding our side stretched, looking up to the ceiling, pulling our right shoulder back, breathing into the side stretch. Inhale, come back up to center, and exhale, split. And let's move into our twist. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, twisting. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, twisting. Couple more times. Using our next exhale to unwind, leave the left palm where it is, moving into our anchored side stretch. And one last forward fold. Inhale, come back up. Let's extend and counter our fold. Release back upright, extend our legs, coming into staff pose, flex our feet, toes up, inhale, lift, exhale, forward fold. And with our next inhale, take our hands behind our hips. We're just going to come down onto our forearms until we're all the way down on our mat. We're going to pull our knees in, arms extend out, making a T. We're going to pick our hips up, shift them to the right 2 inches, drop the knees to the left, and just release into a spinal twist. Gaze can remain straight up, but if you'd like to counter this, go ahead and turn your gaze to look away from your knees. Breathing into the twist. Each exhale, allowing yourself to melt a little bit deeper into your mat. Inhale, slowly bring the knees back to the center. Exhale, the hips to the left 2 inches. Drop the knees in the opposite direction. Again, gaze can be straight up, or feel free to look away from your knees. Let's inhale our knees back up to the center, hugging our knees into the chest. Create a small ball and make a couple circles clockwise. And then reverse counterclockwise. And let's release one leg out at a time, reaching both arms up overhead, coming into one last full long body stretch. And then begin to pull the shoulder blades down and in, making our way into our final relaxation, Shavasana. So remember, this is a neutral resting position for your body. So if that's not on your back today, feel free to take a different position. This is a time for us to seal in all the benefits of our practice. So let's clear our minds, give ourselves this time and space to simply let our minds and bodies be. Starting to bring our awareness back, beginning to gently wiggle the fingers and the toes. Please, inviting a little bit of motion back into the body, rock our knees from side to side. And the next time our knees move over to the right side, we roll all the way over onto our right side. Left palm pressing into our mat, helping us back up into a comfortable seat. And let's finish with 2 more deep breaths in. Inhaling, arms overhead, big audible exhale through the mouth. And 1 last deep breath in. This time exhaling, hands to heart center. Namaste. Thank you for joining me today in Montego Bay, Jamaica.